Good morning and welcome to the meditation. Let us take a moment to arrive on our cushion or on our chair. We can take that by taking 3 deep breaths, leaving our worries aside, coming to the present moment for this meditation. Every time we inhale, we try to refresh our attention. Every time we exhale, we relax. Now let us take a look at our body posture for this session. If you are sitting on the floor, you can sit in full lotus, that would be the best, but it might be a little bit difficult. Make sure you are not pushing yourself. You can simply sit cross-legged or in half lotus or in Burmese style with one leg in front of the other. If you are sitting on the chair, that is perfectly fine. Just make sure you are not leaning against the support of the chair and not leaning forward either. Whether you are on the floor or on a chair, the most important is for your back to be straight, for your body to be upright. The hands are in the concentration mudra, with the right hand on top of the left. The two thumbs are slightly touching, and this mudra rests on your lap. Even though the back is straight, the shoulders are even and relaxed, and the body remains flexible. You can easily turn from left to right like this. Your neck is aligned with the spine. You can slightly, very slightly tilt the head forward, but not too much. You can place your tongue behind your upper teeth towards your palate. This helps to reduce the production of saliva during meditation. And finally, we don't meditate with the eyes completely closed, so you can leave them slightly open. But we are not actually paying attention to what our eyes are seeing. It is the mental consciousness that meditates. Out of all these instructions that are known as the Buddha Vairochana 7-point posture, the most important is for the body to be upright. Now that we looked at our body posture, let us take a look at our minds. Let us try to generate a good motivation for this session, a Mahayana motivation, a motivation of bodhicitta. Bodhicitta is the Sanskrit term for the awakening mind. The awakening mind is the wish to become fully awakened, the wish to become a Buddha in order to benefit all sentient beings. Why do we want to do that? Is because we recognize in which condition all sentient beings, including ourselves, in which condition sentient beings are. Since beginningless time, countless sentient beings are trapped in the vicious prison of their own mind, the vicious prison of samsara, the vicious prison of cyclic existence, continuously taking rebirth again and again since beginningless time, continuously going from high to low, from low to high, continuously making unpleasant experiences, suffering experiences, experiences of pleasure sometimes, pleasant experiences without any control, without a choice, basically. This is all due to the power of karma and affliction. All sentient beings, including ourselves, have these mental veils, these mental obscurations that are all rooted in what is called self-grasping ignorance. Self-grasping ignorance is the root of all our problems, is the root of our lack of control, is the root of samsara, is the root of suffering. This self-grasping ignorance is this innate misconception that we have that apprehends phenomena, all phenomena, including the self, as existing objectively, as existing inherently, intrinsically, independently, truly. Because of this self-grasping ignorance, we all have the sense of a very solidly existing I. We have a very solid sense of self, me, I. And because of this misconception, because of this self-grasping ignorance, we also have the inappropriate attention. We have the impression that we are the center of the universe. We have the impression that we are more important than others. But if we check carefully, this is a total misconception. Because of this inappropriate attention that we have, all kinds of mental afflictions come about, such as anger, attachment, jealousy, pride, anxiety, and so on and so forth. And because of these mental afflictions, we constantly engage in non-virtuous actions, actions that harm others, such as killing, stealing, lying, and so on and so forth. And every time we engage in such an action, it leaves a negative imprint on the mind. A negative karma is created. And as long as we are in samsara, even the good actions that we do, the virtuous actions that we engage in, they are still contaminated. Even though they are positive, even though they are virtuous, the pleasant experience that will be their result will be within samsara, meaning we don't have a control when they will ripen, and they will ripen in the form of a pleasant experience, which is what we call pleasure, but is not a lasting happiness at one point or the other, as long as our minds are under the control of the afflictions. The pleasant feeling will inevitably change again to a neutral feeling, to an unpleasant feeling. And at some point, as long as our minds are not completely purified, unpleasant feelings will come, suffering experiences will come. We don't know when, we don't have a control. For example, today we cannot choose what will be our experience today. At 3 p.m. today, will I be happy? Will I experience pleasant experiences, or will I experience unpleasant things in my day? I don't have a choice. When I go to sleep tonight, what will be the content of my dreams? Again, I don't have a choice. So therefore, let us try to generate this wish that we call renunciation, this wish to gain control over our minds, this wish to be free from karma and afflictions, this wish to be liberated from cyclic existence, this wish to get out of samsara. And let us try to extend that wish to all sentient beings, recognizing that they are all in the same condition. All are trapped in the vicious prison of the mind. All are caught in the evil iron net of self-grasping. So let us try to generate compassion for them. We can think, may all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. Not only that, I myself will free all sentient beings from suffering and the causes of suffering. I generate a sense of responsibility because I have this precious human life. I was born human with all my faculties, but not only that, I live in a world where the Buddha has appeared, the Buddha has taught, the teachings of the Buddha are still very much available. There are many students, disciples of the Buddha, and there are many supporters of the disciples. Therefore, I have the unique, incredible opportunity to transform my mind, to purify my mind from all the afflictions, all the mental veils, all the mental obscurations. So, therefore, through study, contemplation, and meditation, I have the opportunity to achieve the state of a Buddha, to achieve the state of awakening, which is the state of omniscience. A Buddha has perfect love, perfect knowledge, perfect power to help sentient beings. So let us try to generate this most beautiful mind of bodhicitta. We can think, may I become a Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. And with this motivation in mind, we will engage in Shamatha practice this morning. Shamatha is the Sanskrit term for calm abiding, or Shine in Tibetan. And more specifically, we will engage in single-pointed meditation, meaning that we are taking one object to mind and trying to place all our focus on that object. If you are familiar with single-pointed meditation, I encourage you to keep the same object throughout our sessions. Every time you meditate, try to familiarize yourself more and more with the same object. It can be the breath, it can be the image of a Buddha, it can be awareness itself, it can be a mental image. If you don't have an object, what I would recommend is to focus on the breathing sensation at the entrance of the nostrils. Try to place all your focus there at the entrance of the nostrils, and more specifically on the feeling, the sensation at the entrance of the nostrils as you breathe in, breathe out. And try to remain focused there for the entire duration of the meditation. During meditation, there are two main ways we get distracted. There are two main ways we lose our object. The first one is called mental excitement. Basically, we are distracted with thoughts, mostly thinking about past, future, thinking about our worries, memories, plans, and so on and so forth. The second way we get distracted and lose our object is with mental laxity. also called dullness or lethargy. Basically, we don't put enough application in our meditation, and the mind starts to sink, kind of fall asleep. And therefore, we also lose our object. So finally, for meditation, there is a final instruction that is the antidotes that we need to use. We are training in the mental factors of introspection and mindfulness. Introspection, also called alertness, is a small part of our mind, this mental factor that is checking, am I meditating? Am I concentrated on my object of meditation? And if I notice that I lost my object, that my mind has been distracted with thoughts or with laxity, I make use of the second antidote, which is called mindfulness. And the role of mindfulness is to remember the object of meditation, to bring the mind back onto the object of meditation and making sure it stays there. A little bit like if you have a pet dog at home and the dog runs away. Introspection notices that the dog is gone, and mindfulness brings the dog back home, and you can also imagine tying him against the pillar so that he remains at home. So similarly with our mind, introspection is checking what is our mind doing, and the moment it notices that it's not on the object anymore, mindfulness brings the mind back onto the object, making sure it stays there. So we will engage in this practice for about 10 minutes. gently come out of the meditation. And we will dedicate the merits that we have accumulated by meditating on bodhicitta and meditating on shamatha. So dedication, basically, why do we dedicate? Is because just a moment of anger, for example, it is said that it destroys. It has the capacity to destroy a lot of the positive potential that we have accumulated, because this mind of anger is so strong, so gross, that it has the power to eradicate the imprints, the the seeds that we plant when we engage in virtuous actions. So it has the power to destroy that. So instead of experiencing the result of the good actions, we won't, because this anger destroys it. So dedication is basically like saving into a bank, putting the money that we have accumulated into a bank so that when we run into a thief, he has nothing to steal from us. So similarly, we put our merits in the bank towards awakening, towards achieving Buddhahood, so that if a moment of anger arises in our mind, the positive potential is already stored on our mental continuum, and the anger, won't destroy it. So at the beginning of the session, we did the motivation of bodhicitta, then we did the action of meditating, and now we are doing the dedication. Some teachers call this going mad: motivation, action, dedication. So now let us do the dedication. So let us dedicate the positive potential we have accumulated, the merit that we also call it, so that we might soon, very soon, become fully awakened Buddhas in order to guide sentient beings unmistakably. May the precious minds of bodhicitta and the wisdom realizing emptiness that have not arisen arise and grow, and may whatever has arisen never diminish but increase forevermore. Due to all our merits, may our spiritual teachers, and in particular His Holiness the Dalai Lama, have very long and healthy lives, and may His Holiness's holy wishes be instantly fulfilled. Due to all our merits, may all the wars that are happening around the world immediately come to an end. May there be no new war, may there be no famine, no epidemic, no natural disasters and catastrophes of the elements. Finally, may peace and happiness prevail in everyone's hearts and lives. So I thank you very much for joining us this morning, and I invite you to join us tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. Indian Standard Time, both physically at Tushita and on Zoom, Tushita Delhi, and on Zoom, the same Zoom that we are online connected to right now. We have tomorrow Venerable Geshe Dorji Damdul, who is going to be teaching at Tushita from 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. and again from 2:30 p.m. until 4 p.m. And he will be teaching on the practice of wisdom for cleansing the mind. So I highly recommend to join. Geshe Dorji Damdul is one of these rare Tibetan lamas who teaches in English directly and is very eloquent in teaching in English. And yes, I highly encourage you to join us. Have a very good day and have a nice weekend. And see you on Monday for the meditation. Bye bye. Thank you.